Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Acupuncture is My Life. Now, lately in at the Acupuncture is My Life clinic, we've been coming across a lot of individuals who have been experiencing constipation. I've also been receiving messages, questions about constipation, and a few individuals, two of them being from Europe, one from Barcelona and the other one from Amsterdam, who'd wanted me to bring up their names and their locations and, address a certain aspect of constipation. But I'll just more or less keep it generic. I won't mention their names, or will I ever discuss anyone personally. But in my profession, encountering individuals who are fighting constipation, and not everyone is a patient. I'm even speaking to individuals at health fairs, whether it's virtual or in person in New York City. Constipation is becoming more and more of an issue. Now, outside of it being due to, in some cases, emotional issues, and I'll be expressing this on the Acupuncture is My Life channel that begins October 29th. We begin airing shows on Roku TV, Apple TV, as well as Amazon Fire. So I'll be going into detail and having group discussions with experts in their fields and so forth and so on. So be sure to tune in to those streaming services beginning October 29th. And if you've already downloaded the Acupuncture is My Life app, you will receive notifications as to when a new episode is uploaded, and you guys can watch it, so forth and so on. But back to constipation. Many people are unaware that constipation can also be due to your diet. And there are some big culprits here, that I speak of over and over. And the first being dairy products. Stop. And, there are individuals even on our TikTok platform when we discuss foods that are good for you, foods that are bad relative to certain disorders. I get a lot of feedback saying, no, I don't want to stop eating this or drinking that and yada, yada. But, I have to support my position. And dairy, many individuals are unaware, it wreaks havoc on your digestive system. And although acupuncture can treat the symptoms that develop as a result of consuming dairy, again, we still have to get to the root causes to a person's problem. So if you come in because you have chronic gas issues, we have to sit down and we have to discuss your diet. Like any acupuncturist would do that. All acupuncturists. Acupuncture is awesome. We dig really, really deep to finding out what's going on with you. And if you're consuming dairy and we're treating you for gas, yes, do we treat the symptoms of many disorders? Of course. But why have you come in to be treated for a disorder that, if the root cause wasn't resolved, it's just the symptom is going to eventually come back? And dairy can make you gassy. Among other things, what it does to your digestive system is not good. And it can also constipate you. So if you're dealing with constipation, discontinue dairy. Okay? Now many of you are going to raise your eyebrows like, no, hold up. Another is red meat. Eating red meat is great. In my opinion, it's good for you. Everything in moderation though. But you have individuals who would have tons of red meat to go with their breakfast, large portions of red meat with lunch, huge steak and potatoes dinner, and have to ask, where's the fiber? Now you're getting your protein, but now where's your carbs? Where's your fats? Okay, because that portion of red meat is taking up anywhere between 50% to 75% of the meal. So lots of times you're not finishing your vegetables, or you're not putting enough on your plate. And there's not enough water because you're full. You're not drinking enough room temperature water to literally push it through. Because red meat contains a lot of fat, which takes quite a bit of time and energy to get through your digestive system. So if you're just packing in the red meat and maybe a little bit of something else, and you're so full you really can't drink the required amounts of water per day, we have problems. There are problems here. Okay? There are problems. So that's a way in which red meat can cause constipation. Okay? Because, again, I tell you over and over, it's about your health. Health is wealth. The wealth isn't in the bank. It's not in the safe. It's not in your purse. It's not in your pocket. It's not under your mattress. It's not in the shoebox in the closet. It's not under the doghouse in the backyard. It's in you. And you know what else you should stay away from? And I know you know what I'm about to say. And it's both processed and fried foods. This combination has constipation not only written all over it, but that it's flashing. Okay? It's flashing off and on like constipation. It's written all over it. Processed foods is extremely low in fiber. I won't even say low in fiber. It doesn't have any fiber in it. That and fried foods wreak havoc on your colon, your large intestine. And it tends to get stuck in the intestines. And here you go. You feel bloated. You become gassy. You feel, So if you're eating a lot of fast food meals, processed foods, fried foods, you're constipated, stay away from the laxatives. Just stay to you. No. You want to stay away from the laxatives, stay away from the processed foods and the fried foods. And then you don't have to worry about using laxatives, stool softeners. Another can be sweets in the form of candies or sweeteners, sugar. Too much sugar can cause constipation. Too much sugar. It's all about everything in balance. I'm not saying don't eat sweets. You have to eat quality sweets like fruit. You love sugar? Natural sugar. Some strawberries, blueberries, raspberries, blackberries, mango, peaches, apples, oranges, tangerines, grapefruits, bananas, pineapples. Wow, that's a lot of candy there. Now, of course, you're not going to eat it all at once. And that's just to name a few. You want something sweet? There you go. Those are the sweets that nature designed for you to eat. Because as acupuncturists, in doing abdominal acupuncture, we know what's going on inside of you. But we have to hear the subjective side of your issues. And sometimes, there are things left out in intake that once we begin to palpate and, do what we have to do, we know what's going on inside of you. When we're conducting our different diagnoses in the form of tongue diagnosis, pulse diagnosis, palpating meridians, we know what's happening inside of you. And there are times it conflicts with what you say. But, sweets. And you know what else causes constipation? It's a major cause is medications you may be on. There are individuals that are taking, let's say, medications for anemia or nausea or acid reflux or their allergies or psychiatric drugs, blood pressure medications. Now, here's the interesting part to these disorders that I just stated that individuals are taking medications for. Acupuncture treats all of that. This is why I say, see your acupuncturist on a regular basis. See your acupuncturist on a regular basis. If you're doing regular wellness visits, you don't need medications for psychiatric disorders, pain, allergies, blood pressure, acid reflux, nausea, anemia, and that's just to name a few. Acupuncture treats that. Because being on a lot of these medications, you'll find yourself using laxatives, and that's not good. You don't want to rewire your system to become dependent on laxatives. Now you're creating an even bigger problem for yourself. I say it over and over, just along with seeing your physician on an annual or semi-annual basis, set up regular wellness visits with your acupuncturist. Once a week, once a month, once every season. That's determined between both your acupuncturist and yourself. Because I won't stop saying it. Once you do that, think about those disorders I just named and the fact that you potentially wouldn't have to worry about them anymore. Think about that. Now, wouldn't you consider that having lifted a huge burden from your shoulders? Wouldn't you? Think about it. Making acupuncture a part of your life is one of the best things you will have done in your entire life. Because acupuncture is my life. What's yours?